The fluorescent lights buzzed like angry hornets overhead, but I didn't hear them over the choke in my throat. My vision blurred as hot tears splashed onto the Formica table, soaking the napkin I'd twisted into a noose around my fingers. That's when the door creaked open, and Ethan Hale, my boss, the unflappable king of deadlines, froze in the threshold, his coffee mug dangling forgotten in his hand. I scrambled to wipe my face, but it was too late. His eyes, those sharp hazel ones that could dissect a quarterly report in seconds, locked onto mine with something I'd never seen before. Not pity, not judgment, but a raw, unguarded concern that hit me like a freight train. "Alex," he said, voice low and steady, crossing the room in 3 strides to slide into the seat across from me. "Talk to me. Whatever it is, it's not staying bottled up in here." I wanted to bolt, to laugh it off as allergies or a bad burrito, but the words tumbled out anyway. The endless grind of hiding who I was at work, the fresh wound from my ex's cruel voicemail that morning calling me too broken to love, the suffocating fear that one wrong glance at a cute coworker would unravel everything I'd built. Ethan listened without interrupting, his jaw tightening with each syllable, and when I finished, he didn't offer platitudes. Instead, he reached across the table and squeezed my hand, his thumb brushing my knuckles in a way that sent a forbidden spark up my arm. "You're not broken, Alex. And you're damn sure worth more than this place, or anyone, has given you credit for." In that moment, as the break room clock ticked mercilessly forward, I realized my carefully guarded world had just cracked wide open, and Ethan Hale was the earthquake. By the time I clocked out that Friday, the office felt like a minefield. I'd spent the afternoon buried in spreadsheets, avoiding Ethan's office like it was laced with kryptonite, but every time our paths crossed, him handing off a file with a lingering "you good?" or catching my eye during the team huddle, my pulse betrayed me. He was 35 to my 28, a decade of corporate climbs separating us, and straight as an arrow, or so the water cooler whispers claimed. Divorced last year, no kids, the kind of guy who quoted Hemingway in emails and volunteered at animal shelters on weekends. Untouchable. Yet here he was, touching something in me I hadn't let anyone near since college. Monday morning hit like a hangover. I arrived early, nursing a black coffee in the lobby, steeling myself for the awkward fallout. But Ethan was already there, leaning against the elevator bank in a navy suit that hugged his broad shoulders just right, scrolling his phone. He looked up, flashed a smile that crinkled the corners of his eyes, and held out a paper bag. "Peace offering. Bagel with everything. Figured you'd need fuel after the weekend." Inside was not just the bagel, but a scribbled note, "One step at a time. You've got this." I stared at it, heat creeping up my neck. "You didn't have to." "I wanted to." He shrugged, stepping into the elevator with me, the doors sliding shut like a confessional booth. The air thickened, charged with the scent of his cologne, cedar and something citrusy, and the unspoken weight of Friday. "Look, Alex, what you shared. It stuck with me. Made me think about how I've let this job turn us all into robots. You deserve better. We all do." The elevator dinged at our floor, but neither of us moved right away. I mumbled a thanks, clutching the bag like a lifeline, and bolted to my desk. The day blurred into meetings and memos, but Ethan's words echoed, a quiet rebellion against the corporate drone. By lunch, he'd texted, from his personal number. How the hell did he get that? Inviting me to grab sandwiches at the deli across the street. No shop talk, he promised. The deli was a hole-in-the-wall haven, checkered floors sticky with history, the air thick with pastrami and pickles. We snagged a corner booth, and for the first time, Ethan wasn't the boss. He was just Ethan, laughing about his dog's latest escape attempt, admitting he'd once dreamed of opening a bookstore instead of climbing the ladder at Hale and Associates. "What about you?" he asked, leaning forward, elbows on the table. "Before the spreadsheets and the suits, what lit you up?" I hesitated, fork midway to my mouth. No one asked that anymore. Writing, I guess. Short stories, mostly. About people finding their way back to themselves. It slipped out, vulnerable as Friday's tears, but his nod was encouraging, not probing. "Send me one sometime." I'd read it. The invitation hung there, simple yet seismic. Back at the office, I buried myself in work, but the seed was planted. Over the next week, the shifts were subtle. Ethan looping me into strategy sessions I'd been sidelined from before, praising my ideas in front of the team with a firmness that silenced doubters. Whispers started. Wisehale got a soft spot for the new guy, but I chalked it up to pity, or worse, strategy. Until the late-night email arrived Thursday. Can't stop thinking about your story idea. Drinks after work? Neutral ground, I promise. The bar was a cozy speakeasy off Michigan Avenue, dim Edison bulbs casting a golden glow over leather booths. Chicago's winter wind howled outside, but inside, it was warm, alive with jazz from a corner trio. Ethan was already there, nursing a whiskey neat, his tie loosened like an afterthought. "You came," he said, relief softening his features. Curiosity killed the intern, I quipped, sliding in across from him. Bourbon on the rocks appeared without me ordering. He remembered from the office holiday party, and conversation flowed easier than the drinks. We talked books, him, Kerouac, me, Baldwin, regrets, his failed marriage, rushed into for all the wrong reasons, and dreams deferred. Hours slipped by, the bar emptying around us, until the bartender's pointed cough nudged us toward the door. Outside, snow flurried like confetti, sticking to Ethan's lashes as he hailed a cab. "This was good," he said, turning to me, closer than necessary in the streetlight's halo. "Really good." His hand brushed my arm, intentional this time, and my breath caught. Was it the alcohol, the cold, or the way his gaze dropped to my lips? The cab pulled up, shattering the spell. "Get home safe, Alex." I nodded, sliding in, heart hammering. That night, staring at my ceiling, I replayed it all. The touch, the look, and wondered if I'd imagined the undercurrent. Or if Ethan Hale, the man who'd built walls around his heart, was starting to dismantle mine. The following Monday, the office buzzed with pre-holiday frenzy. Garlands strung across cubicles, Secret Santa lists circulating like contraband. I was knee-deep in year-end reports when Ethan's assistant poked her head over my partition. "Hale wants you in his office." Now, my stomach flipped. Had I overstepped? Pushed too far with the drinks? But his door swung open to chaos. Stacks of takeout boxes, a whiteboard scrawled with brainstorming chaos, and Ethan in rolled sleeves, hair tousled like he'd run hands through it a dozen times. "Alex, perfect timing. We're retooling the pitch for the Whitaker account. Your fresh eyes could save us." It wasn't a request. It was inclusion, raw and real. We dove in, hours melting away in a rhythm that felt like partnership, not hierarchy. His laugh barked out when I nailed a punchline in the mock presentation, and by dusk, the pitch was polished, unbreakable. "You were brilliant," he said as we packed up, the city lights twinkling through his floor-to-ceiling windows. "Couldn't have done it without you." The compliment landed heavy, laced with something deeper. Our eyes met, and the air crackled, electric, inevitable. He stepped closer, the desk no barrier, and murmured, "Alex, I." The intercom buzzed. "Mr. Hale, Whitaker on line 1. The moment shattered, but the fragments lingered. That night, my phone lit up. "Dinner tomorrow?" My treat. No excuses. I said yes, because saying no would have meant denying the pull, the way he'd upended my careful isolation. The restaurant was intimate, tucked into a Lincoln Park brownstone. Candlelit tables, jazz humming low. Ethan arrived with a bottle of Pinot under his arm, his smile disarming. "To new chapters," he toasted, clinking glasses. Over seared scallops and stories of his Iowa boyhood, strict dad, absent mom. He confessed the divorce had gutted him, left him questioning everything. I thought I knew what I wanted. Stability. The American dream. But it was all smoke. His voice cracked, and I reached for his hand across the linen, mirroring that break room squeeze weeks ago. He didn't pull away. "And you?" he asked, turning the tables. "That ex sounds like he didn't deserve the air you breathe." The vulnerability surged, spilling out. The years of code switching at family dinners, the queer bar hookups that left me emptier, the terror of coming out at work where one rumor could torch my career. Ethan's grip tightened. "You're brave as hell, Alex. Braver than I ever was." The words wrapped around me, thawing fractures I didn't know were frozen. As dessert arrived, chocolate lava cake we shared, forks tangling, he leaned in. "I don't know what this is yet, but I know I don't want it to stop." His confession hung, fragile as the snow dusting the windows. I nodded, hard in my throat, and when he walked me to my door later, The goodnight brush of lips against my cheek ignited everything. But dawn brought reality. Tuesday's team meeting was a powder keg. Mark from sales, the office loudmouth with a homophobic streak he'd masked as jokes, cornered me by the copier. Heard you and the boss are thick as thieves lately. Careful, kid. Hale's got a type, and it's not. Well, you know. The leer twisted my gut. Was it jealousy, or had whispers spread? I brushed it off, but doubt seeded. Ethan noticed my distraction during lunch, another deli run, this time with his knee brushing mine under the table. What's eating you? I deflected, but he pressed, gentle yet insistent. By afternoon, he'd pulled strings for me to shadow him on a client call, a trust fall I caught. Success buzzed between us post-call, high fives turning to hugs in the empty conference room, his arms lingering, breath warm on my neck. That evening, alone in my Wicker Park apartment, I drafted the email, the short story I'd teased, about a man adrift in a sea of expectations, finding anchor in unexpected eyes. I hit send before cowardice won, attaching it with a note, for the guy who sees me. His reply came at midnight. Read it twice. It's you. Raw, real, riveting. Coffee tomorrow, 7 a.m. My place. My place. The invitation thrummed with promise and peril. I arrived at his Lakeview condo as the sun crested, coffee brewing in a sun-drenched kitchen overlooking the lake. Ethan, in joggers and a faded tee, looked boyish, unguarded. We talked for hours, about the story's echoes in his life, the closet he'd cracked open post-divorce when a college fling resurfaced in therapy memories. I thought it was a phase, he admitted, staring into his mug. But seeing you, it's like remembering how to feel. The admission bridged us. When he closed the distance, cupping my face, the kiss was tentative, then torrent, salty with unshed tears, sweet with relief. We broke apart gasping, foreheads pressed. This could blow up everything, I whispered. Then we'll fight for it, he vowed, fierce as the man who'd built empires. But fights come in waves. Wednesday brought the storm. An anonymous email circulated. Blurry photo from the bar that night. Our heads bent close. Caption Hale's new pet project? Panic rippled. HR flags, bored whispers. Mark's smirk in the hallway confirmed his hand. Ethan stormed into a all-hands, voice thunder. Rumors are poison. Focus on facts, or find the door. His eyes found mine across the room, steel-wrapped promise. That night, over takeout in his living room, we dissected it. He's threatened, Ethan said, pacing. Your ideas are shaking his sales throne. But deeper, he confessed fear, not of scandal, but of losing me before we'd begun. I pulled him down, kisses erasing doubts, bodies aligning in comfort, not conquest. Friendship forged in fire, now blooming into more. The weekend was our reprieve. A drive to the Indiana dunes, boots crunching autumn leaves, Lake Michigan roaring like applause. We hiked trails hand in hand once out of sight, shared picnics of cheese and wine, stories spilling like sunlight. He opened about his bisexuality, buried under straight passing privilege. I shared family rifts, the aunt who'd disowned her son for the same. Laughter mixed with tears, bonds deepening. Monday, though the backlash crested. Whitaker pulled the plug, distractions in leadership, their email cited. Ethan's face in the boardroom was granite, but alone later, he shattered. This is on me, dragging you into my mess. I refused to let him shoulder it. We're in it together. Or not at all. We rallied. I pitched a counter-strategy, pulling all-nighters with him, coffee-fueled marathons, turning flirtatious. Success landed Thursday. Whitaker back, impressed by our grit. Celebration drinks led to his place, where confessions turned carnal in emotion, nights tangled in sheets, learning each other's rhythms, vulnerabilities bared in whispers. But prejudice lurks. My best friend, Jordan, a non-binary barista with a poet's soul, warned over brunch. Power imbalances, Alex. He's the boss. What if it sours? Doubt gnawed, amplified when Ethan's ex, Laura, showed up unannounced at the office, all polished fury. You're playing house with the help? Classy, Ethan. Her barbs hit. He's using you to rebound. I overheard, fleeing to the break room, the same damn table. Ethan found me, as before. She's wrong. This is real. But the seed of misunderstanding sprouted. Arguments flared that week, me pulling back, him pushing closer. I need space, I said one night, voice breaking. He nodded, hurt etching lines on his face. I'll wait. Because you're worth it. The climax brewed at the company gala, a glittering affair at the Art Institute. Suits and gowns swirled under chandeliers, but tension coiled. Mark cornered Ethan, slurring accusations. Fairy tales over, hail. Boards watching. Ethan decked him, one clean hook, chaos erupting. Security hauled Mark out, whispers flew. In the aftermath, Ethan pulled me into a shadowed alcove. No more hiding. I love you, Alex. Fight with me. Tears pricked. Yes. The kiss there, public yet private, sealed it. Board convened next day. Ethan laid it bare. His truth, our partnership, Mark's toxicity. Resignations followed, not his. Promotions too, meet a lead strategist. Months blurred into healing. Jordan met Ethan over coffee, thawing with his earnest charm. Family calls mended, mine, tentative invites to holidays. We built. Bookshelves in his condo, now ours. Stories co-written in margins, a life unpicking old threads. 1 year on, break room revisited. No tears this time. Just Ethan, on one knee, ring glinting. Worth fighting for, he asked. Every damn day, I said, pulling him up into forever. The ring was simple, white gold, etched with a quote from Baldwin. Love takes off the masks. Ethan slid it on during a quiet dinner at home, the Lakeview skyline twinkling like it approved. Not proposing marriage, he clarified, eyes twinkling mischief. Not yet. Just a promise. To keep showing up. I kissed him then, slow and sure, tasting the future on his lips. It was the kind of moment that rewrote histories, turning what-ifs into always. But promises test in tempests. Winter gripped Chicago, ice storms blanketing the city in brittle silence. Work stabilized. Hale and Associates emerged leaner, bolder, with me as Ethan's right hand, literally and figuratively. Yet shadows lingered. Laura's parting shot echoed in late-night doubts. Rebound. Was I? Or was Ethan, with his history of straight-laced facades, truly ready for this? Jordan became my anchor. Our weekly brunches at the Wormhole, a retro diner with lava lamps and Doctor Who episodes on loop, turning confessional. He's all in, Jordan said one snowy morning, stirring oat milk into their latte. But trauma doesn't vanish. Yours or his. They were right. My ex's ghost haunted, voicemails deleted but venom absorbed. Ethan's divorce scars ran deeper. Therapy sessions he dragged me to revealing layers of internalized shame from a father who equated emotion with weakness. We navigated it raw. Date nights morphed into therapy dates, walks along the lakefront, bundled against wind, trading fears like trading cards. I worry I'll wake up and you'll see the real me. I admitted one dusk, gulls wheeling overhead. The mess, not the mask. Ethan stopped, cupping my gloved hands. The mess is what I love. Scars and all. His kiss chased the chill, reaffirming. Spring thawed more than sidewalks. Company retreat in Saugatuck, Michigan, a artsy lakeside haven, promised team building, delivered reckonings. Bonfires crackled under star-pricked skies, esmores sticky with sweetness. Around one, beers in hand, Ethan shared a story I'd only glimpsed. College summers experimenting with a roommate, love unspoken, buried under frat boy bravado. I ran from it, married to prove I wasn't that guy. Lost years. The firelight danced on his face, vulnerability a crown. The team listened, rapt. Mark's absence a void filled with tentative openness. A junior analyst, Tim, came out that night, tear-streaked thanks tumbling. Seeing you too. It gave me guts. Ethan's arm around my shoulders felt like armor, not anchor. But conflict brewed back home. My parents' annual visit loomed, a minefield of Midwest politeness masking bigotry. Dad's offhand, that lifestyle's a choice, son, from last Thanksgiving still stung. Ethan offered to bow out, but I refused. They need to meet the man who's remade me. The dinner was at our place. Roast chicken, green beans almondine, tension thick as gravy. Mom cooed over Ethan's charm. Dad grunted approvals at his golf handicap. But post-meal, over coffee, Dad cornered me in the kitchen. He's your boss, Alex. And, the dripped disdain. I bristled. He's the man I love. Deal with it. Voices rose. Ethan intervened, calm as a diplomat. Sir, with respect, Alex is your son, not a phase. Honor that. Dad stormed out, Mom trailing apologies. The door's slam echoed like judgment. Ethan held me after, on the couch amid cooling pie. You were fierce. Proud. But sleep evaded, doubts whispering. Too much, too soon? Morning brought Dad's text. Sorry. Give me time. A crack, not a chasm. Summer surged with surprises. A writing contest win for my story, the one Ethan inspired, netted publication in a lit mag, readings at local bookstores. He sat front row, eyes shining, then surprised me with a weekend in Provincetown, Massachusetts. Queer Mecca, rainbow flags fluttering like welcome mats. Whale watches by day, drag brunches by night. We danced in sand-swept bars, bodies loose, hearts unbound. Yet misunderstanding struck sharp. A work trip to New York, Ethan solo, pitching to investors, stretched to 5 days. Late calls turned curt. A photo surfaced online, him arm in arm with a venture capitalist, all laughs and wine. Caption, Hail Seals deal with sparks. Jealousy gnawed, irrational, but rooted in old fears. Jordan's words replayed, power imbalances. I confronted via video, voice shaky. Who's the guy? Another phase? Ethan's face fell, pixelated pain. Business, Alex. Nothing more. But if you doubt us. Hurt-laced accusation. The flight home was agony, airport pickup fraught. I panicked. I admitted in the car, rain-sheeting windows. X's lies bleeding over. He forgave, but tension simmered. Arguments over smalls, silences stretching. Therapy doubled down, his counselor's insight. Trust rebuilds in actions, not words. Actions followed. Ethan cleared his calendar for my book launch, small, but sold out at Unabridged Books. He emceed, voice warm. This man's words captured my soul first. Applause thundered. Afterward, in the green room, he knelt again, this time with a key. To the apartment. Officially. No more halfway. Tears blurred. Yes. The move-in was chaos. Boxes of manuscripts mingling with his Hemingway tomes. But joy. Fall painted the city gold. We hosted Jordan and their partner, a queer potluck of empanadas and empowerments. Climax crested Thanksgiving. Full table. My parents, tentative truces, Ethan's sister, fierce ally, Jordan's crew. Dad raised a glass. To family, however it grows. Laughter flowed, but post-feast, Laura crashed, drunk, desperate. You left me for him? She slurred at Ethan, eyes wild on me. Chaos. Accusations flying, plates clattering. Dad's face thunder, Mom's gasp. Ethan shielded me, voice steel. Out. Now. Security, called by his sister, escorted her. Silence blanketed, broken by Dad's gruff. That woman's poison. You deserve better, son. The validation cracked me open. Hugs followed, awkward but real. As guests departed, Ethan and I cleaned, elbows brushing. We survived, he murmured. Barely, but stronger. Winter's End brought the board's ultimate test. Promotion to partner. For both, a dual leap. Gala Redux, this time our stage. Ethan spoke. Alex isn't just my partner in business. He's my life. Cheers erupted. Rings exchanged glances. 1 year post-break room, we stood on the dunes again, waves crashing commitment. Forever, he asked. Always, I vowed. Love, after all, was the ultimate fight, and we'd won. The partnership announcement rippled through Hale and Associates like a benevolent tsunami. Emails pinged congratulations. Handshakes lingered longer in hallways. But for me, the real wave was internal, a tide of imposter syndrome crashing against Ethan's unyielding belief. You've earned this, he'd say over breakfast, passing the sports section with a kiss to my temple. Now own it. Spring bloomed tentative. Chicago's magnolias unfurled petals like secrets, mirroring our cautious expansion. We hired inclusively. Tim leading a queer employee resource group, Jordan consulting on sensitivity trainings, their poetry double life thriving. Workdays blurred boundaries. Ethan's office door ajar for stolen glances, post-meeting debriefs turning debriefs of us. Yet prejudice's undercurrent swirled. A client dinner in D.C., stuffy steakhouse, power suits, turned sour when the exec, a silver-haired Texan named Harlan, eyed our joined hands under the table. Modern times, as long as it doesn't affect the bottom line. The barb landed sly, but Ethan's response was velvet over iron. It enhances it. Diversity drives innovation. Numbers don't lie. Harlan backed off, deal inked, but the aftertaste lingered. Home was sanctuary. Our Lakeview nest evolved. Gallery walls of my story clippings beside his vintage jazz posters. A shared desk where laptops kissed corners. Nights, we'd cook, me chopping garlic with theatrical flair, him searing salmon with surgeon's precision, soundtracked by Coltrane. Conversations deepened, his bisexuality's nuances, fluid not fractured, my queerness as rebellion against small-town erasure. Jordan's influence wove in. Their first official dinner at ours featured vegan tacos and truth or dare vulnerability rounds. Truth, biggest fear in this? Jordan asked, eyes on Ethan. Losing him to my baggage, he admitted, hand finding mine. Or worse, making him carry it. I squeezed. We're porters, not prisoners. Laughter lightened, bonds tripled. Summer's heat wave baked the city, air conditioners humming dirges. A work crisis peaked, major account breach, data leaked, suspicions fingering a disgruntled ex-employee, Mark's echo. Crisis mode, all-nighters in the office, pizza boxes piling like evidence. Ethan's leadership shone, calm directives, my analytics sealing the fix. But exhaustion frayed us. A snapped focus from him mid-call sparked my retort. I'm not your intern anymore. Silence sliced. He apologized later, slumped in his chair. Old habits. You're equal. Always were. Makeup in the supply closet. Urgent kisses against shelved reams, reaffirming equality. The leaks fallout birthed opportunity. Cybersecurity pivot, my brainchild. Pitched to venture capitalists in Silicon Valley. First class together, nerves electric. Hotel suite overlooking the bay. We rehearsed till dawn, bodies collapsing into laughter and limbs. Success. Funding secured. Headlines hailing Hale's dynamic duo. But surprises ambushed. Back in Chicago, a letter arrived. My ex, reconciliation plea post-rehab. I was wrong. Let's try. Gut punch. I crumpled it, but Ethan found the shreds. You okay? No jealousy, just concern. Over him. But the what-ifs. Therapy unpacked. Forgiveness not for him, but me. Ethan joined a session, sharing his ex's sabotage. We choose forward. Fall foliage framed a milestone. Ethan's family visit. His sister, Mia, fiery litigator, out lesbian, arrived with her wife, tales of their wedding in the Rockies. Dad's passing had softened edges. Mom, now in assisted living, sent quilts and queries. Dinner was raucous. Mia grilling Ethan on finally settling. Wine flowing free. Alex, she toasted, for making my brother human again. Tears pricked. Later, stargazing from the balcony, Ethan whispered, they're right. You did. Winter whispered warnings. Holiday party, glam at the peninsula, promised joy, delivered drama. Laura reappeared, sober but sharp, cornering me by the bar. He's using you. I know the pattern. Intense than ice. Venom from familiarity, my ex's playbook echoed. Doubt bloomed. I pulled Ethan aside, voice low. Talk to me. Is this sustainable? His face crumpled. God, Alex, no. You're my North Star. But words needed proof. Climax brewed New Year's. A blizzard trapped us homebound, power flickering. Candlelit confessions, his fear of vulnerability's cost, my terror of abandonment. Prove it, I challenged, half joking. He did, drafting a joint will, naming me beneficiary, co-signing a lease extension with addendums for forever clauses. Eve's countdown on TV, we danced slow in the living room, snow-muffling world. Resolution, no more masks, he murmured. Fireworks burst outside, ours, internal, eternal. Spring's renewal tested resolve. My book deal, expanded stories into novel, demanded focus. Ethan's expansion to Austin branch pulled him south. Long distance loomed, 2 weeks his, 1 mine. Calls bridged, voice notes of sunsets, texts of miss your chaos. Misunderstanding peaked mid-May. A photo from Austin event. Ethan with a charming consultant, arms linked in group shot, went viral in industry circles. Caption, Hale's new muse? Whispers reached Chicago. Jordan texted warning emojis. Panic dialed. Who's she? Laughter first. Colleague, straight as rails, then hurt. Patterns, Ethan. Trust me. Flight booked. He met me at O'Hare. Reunion fierce in baggage claim. No muses but you. Summer healed. Co-authored op-ed on queer leadership in Forbes. Panels at Pride. Hand-holding on stages. Cheers thundering. Jordan officiated a vow renewal at a beach bonfire. Friends toasting our grit. Fall's harvest. Parents' reconciliation dinner. Dad, softer with age, clasped Ethan's hand. Welcome, son. Mom's embrace lingered. Thanksgiving tables fuller, graces deeper. Winter's gift. Ethan's proposal proper. Central Park, snow-dusted, under the Bethesda fountain. Marry me? Fight forever. Ring twin to mine. Vows exchanged impromptu. Yes. The world blurred white. Our love, vivid. The engagement ring caught every light, a constant wink reminding me. This was real. Planning blurred into summer, venue hunts in Door County, Wisconsin, where bluffs met lake like lovers. Ethan's practicality clashed my romanticism. Elopement, he'd tease. Vows under oaks, I'd counter. Compromise, intimate ceremony, 80 guests, wildflower arches. Work wove through. Austin launch succeeded. I consulted remotely, video calls framing his sun-kissed smiles. But distance nipped, nights alone, bed too vast. Jordan hosted widow watches, rom-com marathons mocking my moping. He's building empires for us. They'd remind, non-binary wisdom sage. Surprise struck Labor Day. Ethan's early return, duffel slung, grin wolfish. Airport dash ended in a hotel overlook, city sprawl below. Couldn't wait. Love-making slow, rediscovery. Morning brought crepes and clarity. We're solid, he affirmed, tracing my ring. Distance proves it. Fall foliage framed family fusions. Mia flew in, wedding binder in tow, spreadsheets of caterers, playlists of queer anthems. My parents hosted a rehearsal facsimile. Pot roast, probing questions thawed to toasts. Dad pulled Ethan aside. Heard him, you answer to me. Gruff love, Ethan's nod solemn. Prejudice's last gasp came October. A conservative client, Old Guard Pharma, balked at our lifestyle pitch, ad featuring diverse couples. Family values, they sneered in conference call. Ethan's shut down. Our values, equality. Take it or leave. They left. New clients flooded. Progressive brands, rainbow-aligned. Climax brewed pre-wedding. Bachelor parties, mine a drag brunch with Jordan's crew, his a hike with industry bros, converged in conflict. Laura's email blast, wedding registry hacked, invites leaked to tabloids. Hale's secret gay affair? Headlines screamed. Board panicked, stocks dipped. Rage boiled. Ethan paced our temp Airbnb in Door County. She's unhinged. Lawsuit pending. But deeper, does this taint us? I refused. Spotlight's our stage. Own it. Press conference called. Ethan's poise, my hand in his. We're marrying because love wins. Period. Backlash surged. Trolls, threats, but allies amplified. Glad endorsements, op-eds praising resilience. Mia's legal eagles sued. Laura retreated, exposed. Wedding dawn, mist-shrouded bluff, orchestra swelling. Jordan's vows, you too, fire and anchor. Rings exchanged, kiss sealed under cheers. Reception, lakefront barn, fairy lights, first dance to at last. Whispers of beautiful from skeptics, dad's tear-tracked proud. Honeymoon in Provincetown Redux. Bikes along dunes, seafood shacks, nights star-stitched. Mrs. Hale. Ethan joked. Partners, I corrected, laughing. Return thrust realities. Married life, merged finances, monogram towels, mundane magic. Work evolved. Me leading creative, him strategy. Joint TEDx talk on authentic leadership, standing ovations. Winter's chill birthed bigger dreams. Adoption talks tentative. Kids? With our patchwork. Ethan's eyes lit. Ours would be unstoppable. Agency visits followed, profiles polished. Surprise spring, positive match, a sibling duo, 5 and 7, foster weary eyes. Home study passed. Court date loomed. Doubts danced. Ready? Jordan mentored. Parenting's the ultimate plot twist. Climax. Hearing day. Judge's gavel. Family. Tears torrent. Homecoming chaos. Bunk beds. Bedtime stories blending Baldwin and trucks. Ethan's lullabies off-key. My fort's epic. Summer's rhythm. Park picnics. Scraped knees. Queer family playdates. Prejudice peaked. A playground dad side-eye. But community buffered. Pride floats with tiny flags. Fall's harvest. First school open house. Tiny backpack slung. Ethan's promotion to CEO. Mine to VP. Balance teetered. Nannies. Date nights reclaimed. Winter wonder. Holiday cards featuring 4 faces. Mia's visit. Anti-spoiling. Parents' grandparent glee. One anniversary eve. Break room flashback over wine. From tears to this. Ethan marveled. Worth every fight. I toasted. Love's drama. Endless acts. Infinite encores. The kids. Lila, 7 going on 70, with her braids and boundless questions. And Theo, 5, all freckles and fearless climbs, rewrote our scripts overnight. Mornings dissolved into cereal avalanches and sock hunts. Evenings into story hours where Ethan's baritone narrated where the wild things are while I sketched illustrations and margins. Daddy Alex, why do monsters get homesick? Lila pondered one night, tucked under quilts. Because even wild hearts need anchors. I replied, kissing her forehead, Ethan's gaze over her head saying like us. Work adapted. Flexible hours, remote hybrids. Ethan's corner office now sported finger paint abstracts. The board, once stayed, softened, grandkids' photos circulating like bonds. Jordan became Auntie J, hosting art afternoons where non-binary tales met glitter glue. Your naturals, they'd affirm, though my midnight panics. Am I enough? Ethan soothed with hugs, and we're learning together. Spring's thaw mirrored growth. Lila's school play, her as a tree in the Lorax, drew full house. Grandparents beaming, Mia filming furiously. Backstage hugs smelled of grease paint and pride. Theo's preschool graduation followed, tiny mortarboard askew, diploma a crayon scrawl. Big boy now, Ethan whispered, tearing up as we posed for pics. But conflict coiled domestic. A custody scare, no, not ours, but a client's merger gone toxic, mirrored home fears. Late nights pouring docs. Ethan snapped at Theo's bedtime interruption. Not now, buddy. Silence stung. Theo's lip quivered retreat. Guilt gnawed. Morning apologies over pancakes. Daddies mess up. But we fix. Theo's hug. Love you anyway. Deeper rifts. My novel sequel stalled. Words evading amid diaper changes. Theo's accidents persisted. Imposter again. I confessed to Ethan over cooled coffee. Your creator, stories or not. Therapy tag team. Couple sessions unpacking provider pressures. His CEO weight. My artist soul. Surprise summer. Book tour slot. LA to NYC, 2 weeks. Go, Ethan urged. Shine. But separation anxiety hit. FaceTimes with Lila's miss you drawings. Theo's echoey story. Hotels felt hollow. Launches electric. Fans quoting lines that birthed from our break room dawn. Reunion at O'Hare. Kids mobbing. Signs waving daddy's famous. Ethan's kiss. Proud doesn't cover it. Tours yield. Advance doubled. Agent buzzing sequels. False frenzy. School routines. PDA politics. Lila's first crush. Sweet on a classmate. Gender fluid flare. Sparked my coming out redux. Love's a spectrum, Bean. I explained over hot cocoa. Ethan added. Whoever makes your heart dance. Parents nod at conference. Open home. Open hearts. Prejudice prowled subtler. A neighbor's petition. Family values zoning. Targeted our blocks. Alternative households. Door-to-door defenses. Ethan's eloquence. My stories swaying. Victory barbecue. Rainbows on fences. Unity grilled. Climax crested Thanksgiving. Extended clan converged. My folks turkey. Mia's vegan sides. Chaos caloric. But dad's health scare. Chest pains. ER dash. Halted festivities. Waiting room vigil. Hands clasped across generations. Regrets? He wheezed to me. None, especially you. Catharsis. Discharge brought truces. Toasts to tomorrows. Winter's hush healed. Holiday lights twinkled traditions, tree trimming with ornaments from travels, carols off-key. Ethan's gift, writer's retreat weekend, kids with grandparents. Solitude birth chapters, return, manuscript blooming. Spring's renewal, Lila's birthday bash, unicorn theme, queer fairy tales read aloud. Theo's swimming lessons, splashes sinking our cheers. Work win, diversity award, gala speeches tag-teamed. Summer scorcher, family road trip, Route 66 echoes, kitsch stops. Grand Canyon awe, Lila's infinite, mirroring our love. Motel nights, kids conked, Ethan's whispers adventure with you. Fall foliage, school projects, parent-teacher kudos. My book's launch, family edition, dedications to all, sold-out signings. Winter's gift, Ethan's sabbatical surprise, month off, Italy bound. Colosseum shadows, pasta feasts, kids gelato smeared, us hand-in-hand Venice canals. From break room to this, he marveled gondola swayed. Back, resolutions renewed, more presence, less perfection. Love's evolution, not drama's end, but deepening dialogue. Years layered like sedimentary rock, each stratum a testament. The grit of early storms, the gold of triumphs. Lila hit 12, tween tempests, braces glinting sarcasm. Theo 9, soccer star with poet's pauses. Our home, once condo cramped, expanded to Evanston suburb. White pickets ironic, backyard queer garden blooming. Works art peaked. Ethan's CEO tenure innovated. Hale and Associates Global, ethics core. My authorship flourished, trilogy complete, speaking circuits on queer narratives and corporate shadows. Joint ventures, podcast dissecting love's labors, funds for LGBTQ plus youth writing camps. Friendships fortified. Jordan's chapbook launch. Us front row, tears for their truths. Mia's mayoral run in her city, campaign donations, stump speeches. Parents aged gracefully. Dad's memoirs self-published. Mom's knitting circle rainbow inclusive. But growth invites gales. Lila's middle school microaggressions, locker room jabs at gay dads, festered silent. Discovery via journal. Do they hate me for them? Heartbreak. Family meeting, tears torrent. Your dads chose love, fiercest superpower, Ethan affirmed. School intervention, counseling, ally training. Lila's resilience. I'll fight too. Theo's quieter storm. Anxiety flares, therapy Teddy in tow. Scared I'll lose you like grandma's stories. Ethan's loss, mom's passing mid-adoption, echoed. Bedside vigils, reassurances woven, fears unraveled. Misunderstanding menaced marital. My touring schedule clashed Ethan's board retreats. Arguments over airports. You're vanishing. Building our future. Impasse broken by retreat. Couples weekend in the Berkshires. No kids. No calls. Hikes hashed. We're partners, not parallels. Rekindled. Bonfire confessions. Dawn swims. Surprise struck solstice. Ethan's legacy project. Nonprofit for queer foster kids. Board seat mine. Launch gala. Testimonials tear-jerking. Donors dazzled. Lila emceed teen panel. Theo's artwork auctioned. Impact instant. First placements. Stories mirroring ours. Falls Forge. Lila's coming out. Bisexual. Crush on art class girl. Celebration cake. But schoolyard cruelty followed. Rumors. Isolation. Ethan's school board push. Policy overhauls. My op-ed. Protecting the next U.S. Victory. Zero tolerance codes. Pride clubs chartered. Climax crested crisis. Company hack. Internal. Traced to old rival. Mark's network. Exposed emails. Our early romance raw. Vulnerable. Tabloids twisted. Hale's scandalous start. Stocks plummeted. Board bayed for blood. Ethan's address. All staff Zoom. Unflinching. This scandal. Our truth. Vulnerability built this firm. Embrace it. My addendum. Love's not leak. It's light. Rebound. PR pivot. Authenticity campaigns viral. Investors surged. Mark indicted. Winter's warmth. Healing holidays. Extended family expanded. Foster alums as chosen kin. Resolutions. Boundaries bolstered. Gratitude journals. Spring surge. Lila's first date. Chaperoned arcade. Ethan's dad jokes disarming. Theo's science fair win. Volcano, Erupting Rainbows. My fourth book. Memoir-ish, Break Room Epiphanies. Summer's Symphony. Europe Redux. Kids Cultured. Paris Crepes. Rome Ruins. Lila's Sketches. Theo's Phrases. Inspirations Infinite. Fall's Fruition. Ethan's Retirement Tease. Consulting Shift. More Home. Lila's Leadership. GSA President. Theo's Tales. Budding Bard. Winter's Wisdom. 20th Anniversary. Break Room Replica Picnic. Tears Joyful. From Cry to Chorus. Ethan Toasted. Legacy? Not in point, but echo. Love's Drama. Eternally Unfolding.